Liam, a disappointing afternoon and result overall. What was your take on it?
Shocking performance. Didn't see it coming. But listen, 2-0's flattered us today. For us to come away with 2-0. On the balance of play, it could have been 5, could have been 6. So can't recall us having a chance. I remember as Boston missing a lot of chances. So 1 to 11, second best all over the pitch. No one, I can say now, won any personal battle. And to be fair to Boston, give them credit, they were very, very good.
Obviously, coming to this game on a decent run of form. Any reasons in particular why it was below par today?
No, that's just it. I just didn't see it coming on. I said, you go in, pitch is lovely. It's always been a lucky ground for me. Didn't smell. Normally you can smell it when you can see in the warm up. You can see whatever. You're going to get a mixed bag. But looking at it today, middle of the park they dominated. 2 centre halves dominated. Down the sides they caused us problems. They got crosses in. Didn't stop fullbacks getting forward. So all over the place. And I said we never wear the keeper. So recipe for a disaster. Again, try and be balanced in terms of, especially doing an interview and when you'd address players. Now, we've been consistent for a long time now, so this was out of the blue. It was so they'll get a walkover in the fact of, am I going to jump all over them for the performance today? They know I'm not happy. But we go into Saturday, which is huge. The FA Cup is massive for us. So do we go overboard? Didn't go overboard last week when we won. So I'm not going to completely overboard now that we haven't. I said all I will say is that I think we do need to freshen the squad a little bit, and that might mean 1 or 2 moving on to actually bring a little bit of freshness in, and try and kick us on a little bit, certainly defensively. At the moment, Pass has played a couple of games back to back. Dean's missing. They're players for us, but as a manager, I've got to turn around and say, well, is this going to be a long term? It's all right being a good player. You've got to be a good player and you get on the pitch. It's amazing how much players become better when they're injured. Because managers use it as an excuse. Oh, I've got him injured. I said, but if you got a good player who doesn't play, he's not a good player, is he? So I have to have that. I have to see that on the pitch, and can't consistently have main players missing. So stuff like that we need to look at it, need to address, and as I said, a little bit of freshness without going overboard. We certainly need another defensive option, which gives you a balance. I thought Paddy come on and put himself about, and the one I would say, I thought Brad worked extremely hard in the second half when he could have easily have been head down and whatever, but he dug in and had a right good go. So we've got a game on Tuesday, whereas you'll say, well, Tuesday night was, do we put a weakened side out? Well, do we have a weakened side? If you're looking at the bench, you got Dan, you got Tavar, he didn't get on, George did get on, Paddy did get on, Connor did get on, so is that a weakened? I don't see anything else around the edges, so what we've got is what we've got. So we will make sure that we put a strong side out on Tuesday, and it'll be a case of letting them play themselves into the team for the FA Cup game, or letting themselves play themselves out the team.
Morgs went off after taking a knock, and Samo took a knock as well. How are they?
All right, down the middle. Ryan was hurt his shoulder, Morgs rolled his ankle, and Samo rolled his ankle. I don't think they're going to be, more than a few days, long termers, but what it does get to stages that we need to put a side out on Tuesday night. In fact, I want to put a side out on Tuesday night, and we want to treat it very much as a game, because the ones who mightn't have played recently will come into that game, and the ones alongside him, if you're a forward, you don't want to put someone in who's not a forward. So because it's not fair, and when you turn around and say play yourself in, we haven't scored enough goals in the league, without a doubt. So George needs to give me a headache. So Connor, needs to be in a position where I need to look, am I going to start him soon? he comes on and gives us cameos. I do believe he will go on to be a really good player, but he's young, he's massively inexperienced at any kind of level. I said so, but I'm not going to hide behind the fact of his inexperience. He will get in on his ability. And then Russ has had a little dip, which is totally expected, because Ral's had a little dip again, which is expected. They didn't play a lot of football last year, so when they come in, they always have a really good start, and then they have a little wobble, and then they come back. So, you know, as I said, big week, 2 cup competitions, 2 performances, which we certainly owe. We certainly owe, you know, the players owe me, owe the fans, owe the club certainly a performance. Definitely next Saturday.
Thanks for your time.